And here we have another one of these nonsensical, judgy questions that are, just completely ignorant. So you might want to wait around for the answer to this, because this will be worth waiting around for. You have to realize if someone has a mental health disease like alcoholism, it's no different than cancer or heart disease. We don't blame the family if someone has cancer. We don't blame the family if they have heart disease or pancreatic cancer or lung disease. We don't blame the family. Why do they do this with alcoholism? Like the family has some kind of innate reason to harm their loved one. There has to be some critical thinking skills. And the reason why I pulled this particular comment, I'm going to read it in a second, is because there were so many comments that were like this. And after a while, they just get redundant. And again, I'll explain. It's always from women, by the way, and it tends to be a projection of their probably not very good experiences with their own relationships with men, and it really is. I think the fundamental core of these types of questions really is the core of I hate men. So you can't project every statement, every comment that you have from your own experiences. I must admit, there are a lot of very narcissistic, crappy men out there, okay? Don't project that experience onto my page or onto other people's pages, because it's very telling of what you've experienced and your mentality and your mindset and your reactionary emotions. So, on that note, let's answer this question. Okay, so I'll read this real quick. You have to pay for house arrest. So who paid for it? Certainly not her. So you must have some of the blame. What she doesn't understand is my wife had about $22,000 in fines. And just to back up, if this is the first time you've seen me, I did a series of videos this week of my wife's 4 DUIs, and then I did a follow-up, and this is a continued follow-up to that. She had about $22,000 in fines. My wife was actually arrested twice for not paying her fines and really breaking her probation. They came to her house and got her. Another time they came 3 weeks after she had passed away, looking for her because she had warrants. And at that time, they actually wanted to come into the house and look for my dead wife, and I was at the door. I'm going, look, this is ridiculous. And they asked me for the death certificate, and I didn't have it. I've made videos on this. So eventually, I took the death certificate to the court, and they quashed about $22,000 in fines. I mean, as a spouse, I had to go through this to prove to the courts that, she wasn't here anymore. And, kudos to the court. They did quash it because she wasn't here. It's not my responsibility, and it never was. And people don't understand that. The only thing I paid for was her court-ordered breathalyzer and the ignition of her car, because I believe I could get a write-off for that if I figured a way to do that. That's the only thing I paid for. And if I hadn't, she would have just been in jail all the time anyways, which may or may not have been a bad thing. But you have to understand, and I want people to realize that there's so much more to the story. And if you do comment, you need to look at other videos before you comment, so you have a better understanding of what this page is about, where I'm coming from, and the experiences that I've had. There needs to be a little bit more empathy on the side of people who are watching these videos, because it gets taxing, but it's unnecessary. And I hope people that do have these kind of mentalities, women, and some men too, that they are able to, critical think the situation a little bit more and get a little bit more information before they have reactionary emotions like this. And that's really all I have to say about it. And really, the number one thing that I want to be as a takeaway from this video is you should never be blaming the family or the spouse, because they're not culpable. They're just not. I mean, unless they actually are part of the problem. But usually, the second family isn't part of the problem. And in my wife's case, she had issues long before I met her. I met her when she was 30. Her issues stem from high school years and from her original family that she grew up in, like so many people. It's family culture, trauma, hereditary issues. These are not the causes of, family structures, the second family that you marry into. We actually had a very wonderful marriage, and we were the best of friends. And unfortunately, alcoholism and alcohol use disorder took that all away. As much as I fought for her, and as much as she fought for herself. She did go to 7 rehabs. She did try her best. I think she was just too far down the road before she got professional help, and it's unfortunate. And that's one of the reasons why I make these videos, is for families to understand the red flags and take action and step in before it gets too late. And once again, I go live Monday through Friday right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Also, join the Facebook group. The link is in my bio. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. Good place for alcoholics and family members to voice, some of their concerns, what they're going on, or you can just listen to some of the other conversations as well. And again, when you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I have a complete coaching program that's designed for the family and the alcoholic. The Zoom call takes about 45 minutes or so. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you. We go over the program, and I want to find people who want to change their life and the life of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.